Hi Scorpio, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your December 2023 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, the Celt cross-spread as always, and I also pulled the 4 agreements, wisdom, oracle, and Mudra card for you guys. I'm actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where you folks should be as far as that goes. Alright, we have Pisces, and Pisces is actually your 5th house of romance, creativity, and children. We have Neptune that's been there for a really long time, and we also have Saturn there as well. Alright, we have Venus, and Venus is actually going to be in Libra for around the first week of December, then it's going to move into your sign for pretty much most of the rest of December. So, it'll be moving from your 12th house into your 1st house. And 12th house in general points to spirituality, blind spots, mental health, and of course 1st house, personality, self-awareness. And we have 7. So 7th house energy for you guys is Taurus, and in general 7th house points to partnerships, contracts, relationships. And as far as what's in Taurus, we've had Uranus there for quite some time. Alright, so we'll keep that in mind as we go through the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the 10 of Wands, Sagittarius energy, and then challenging that, we have Justice. So, I can see this playing out a couple of different ways, but one way I see it primarily says that you're taking on a lot right now, and this coming up as the challenge could be coming up to you to question that, like, hey, actually, is that the fair thing to do, right? So let's just say within a work environment, right, you're taking on the huge share of the load within the work environment, and the Justice card would be coming up to say to you, well, hey, shouldn't your coworkers be taking on some more of the responsibility as well, right? Or I do have to say, for others of you, this could just be one of those things where you're taking on a lot because you've convinced yourself that it's the fair thing to do, right? So for whatever reason, there could be many reasons why that could be the case, but it could just be that you've convinced yourself that, you know what, it's the fair thing for me to take all this on at this time. And the reason I say that is especially because Libra energy for you guys is your 12th house, right? So sometimes that could be a blind spot where you go into something with the right intentions, but it might not necessarily play out the way that you expected. All right, in the foundation position, we have the 3 of Wands. So for a lot of you, this is Aries energy here, and to me, this could be showing primarily what has fueled this desire in you to take on so much, right? Because you might feel like, well, look, I waited around for others to show up, do their fair share, right? Waited long enough, they haven't really stepped up, so you know what, I'll just do it myself, right? So it could have been where you just reached a point of frustration where like, okay, hey, I'm waiting for others to pick up the slack, right? Do their fair share. Once you got to that point where it just wasn't happening, you said, you know what, I'll just do it myself. Which, Scorpios can be very independent energies at times, so it makes sense. All right, past energy, we have the Ace of Cups. So it's interesting to see that the Justice card is pointing right to that, because it could just be saying that, okay, yeah, it's not so much that you're in the wrong place by taking on that work, but maybe there was an easier way to do it that came across your path in the past, and you might have overlooked it, right? Or maybe someone offered to partner up with you to help take on that load, and for whatever reason you might not have taken that on at that time. All right, in the present position, we have the Devil. So yeah, for a lot of you, this could just be pointing to what's fueling it as well, right? Which is to say that you just might feel some sense of obligation for this, right? So again, maybe if you even felt some sense of guilt around staying around for so long, waiting for something to come your way, right? So now you're almost overcompensating for it. Like, you know what? I sat around waiting for this to happen. So, super generic example, let's say you got obsessed with listening to manifestation videos or something, and it's like, oh yeah, never do anything, everything just falls in your lap. And you're like, okay, yeah, that sounds awesome, right? And then it just wasn't happening. You're like, okay, at this point is getting ridiculous, right? I have to go out and do the things. So that could be where you're at. But it's just unfortunately from being in one extreme swinging to the other to make up for time lost in your mind, All right, in the near future position, we have the 7 of Wands. So, Leo energy here. And yeah, so given that this is your 10th house of career and social status, Could just be saying that this could be within your work environment, right? Where you're just like, you know what? No one's getting anything done around here, right? I'm going to step up and do it. And then you might almost be criticized for doing so as well, right? Like, all right, I can't win with these people. Like, no one's doing what needs to get done. I'm stepping up to do it, and then all of a sudden that becomes a controversy. You know what I mean? So you might feel like you're in an environment with people where you just can't win, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be just career stuff too, but maybe in any area of life where you might feel like the path you're taking is being criticized by others, but they're not doing their fair share either, you know? All right, and in the position of your influence in the situation, we have the King of Swords. So yeah, this is Aquarius energy here. To me, this says that you have your mind made up, right? So I feel like this is saying you truly feel like you've thought it all through, and you just determine that, you know what, this is the path, I'm committed to it now, and once you commit to something, right, it's hard to break you off of that path. All right, in the environment position, we have the Five of Wands. So yeah, more Leo energy here, more an energy of conflict, right? So yeah, for a lot of you, this could be a career-related thing where you're just like, you know what, everyone in this office environment is just more concerned with having everyone do something their way versus the right way, right? And in the meantime, nothing's getting done either, right? So, you know, you could be on your fifth Zoom meeting of the day and you're like, okay, all these discussing ideas, no one's actually doing anything. I'm going to get out of here and actually go do the thing, right? So that could be how it's playing out for some of you. Right? And the hopes or fears position, we have the Hierophant. So yeah, to me, this is hope for a lot of you. This is actually Taurus energy too, which we did see came up in the dice as well. But it could just be saying that this is hope on your part. Like, you know what? I'm at the point now where I can't think about it anymore. I have to just do the thing with a hope that at least, okay, this is going to pay off in the long run, right? That spiritually, karmically, it'll work out in my favor and I won't look back on it with regret. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So Capricorn energy here. And to me, it looks like you will achieve the goal that you were going for, right? It might be a level of exhaustion when you're done with it, but at the same time, it looks like you will get there, right? And, you know, just actually get to take some time to sit back and relax at that point. And that could just be pointing to, given that this is Capricorn energy, saying that by the time we get to the end of the year, that might be when you're able to unwind a little bit more. So maybe this is even one of those things where you knew, like, okay, maybe you had these goals set for the end of the year, right? We're going to be moving through December, and that's what this reading's for. And you're realizing, like, okay, maybe I sat around for a little bit too long waiting for things to fall my way, right? Maybe waiting for others to collaborate because they said they would, and they didn't. And then just realizing, okay, you know what, now I have to really push through, get all this done. And then understanding that, yeah, there's the goal is in sight. Then once you finally get there, you can relax a little bit, right? So some of you might have known that it would play out this way to an extent, and that could be why you're so determined to get it done too. All right, and bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Pentacles. So yeah, this could just, like I said, again, it feels like you're just really digging in around the situation, but at the same time too, I feel like this might be you saying that, well, now once I reach the level of success, right, don't come around and try to partake in the, you know, the fruits of my labor, right? It could just be one of those things like, well, you had ample opportunity to join me to help me get through this, right? You didn't do so. Now that I've reached the finish line, now all of a sudden you guys are reappearing, right? So it could just be one of those things. For a lot of you, I don't think it's going to be like a major way, but it could just be more of a mentality you have. All right, moving on to your Four Agreements card, we have Don't Make Assumptions. It says assume nothing. All right, it says in any kind of relationship, we can make the assumption that others know what we think, and we don't have to say what we want. We assume they are going to do what we want because they know us so well. If they don't do what we want, we feel hurt and think, how could you do that? You should know. It's an interesting message there, right? Because I will say, it's a little bit more tricky to navigate that type of concept within a romantic connection, let's say, but within a work environment, yeah, right? The whole thing is you get hired with a set standard, like a set goal. These are your responsibilities and requirements for the job, right? So in that context, for sure, you're like, okay, like, yeah, you guys should know what you're supposed to do, right? It's what you guys are hired to do. You're not doing it, right? So in that context, it'd it'd be easy to reach that level of frustration because you're like, okay, clearly those guidelines are set in place. Whereas with romantic relationships or friendships, even, it could be a little bit more difficult, right? But hopefully that resonates with you guys either way. Moving on to the Wisdom Oracle card, we have exchanging gifts. There's the artwork, and the number is 27. Okay, essential meanings says the law of giving and receiving, currency, trade-offs, weighing cost, and determining value. The Oracle's message: you're entering into a productive and enriching time when all manner of opportunities are being offered to you. You have everything you need to seize them. Yet in order to honor them, you must put in the time, exchange your experience and skills, and commit heart and soul to what you're choosing to pursue. You can do it. You have what it takes to be successful if you align with the law of giving and receiving. You must engage in a dance of give and take, push and pull, doing and being. If you let fear guide your choices, you could deplete yourself or create an imbalance. This is not a time of just do, do, do. Use your currency wisely and be mindful of the value others bring to your life. So definitely a positive message there. Of course, it did talk about not necessarily just getting in the state of doing, but at the same time, like I said, it looks like you might have been on that opposite end of that for a while. Now you're like, okay, well, now I got to play catch up, right? But I hope that resonates with you. The relationship message says love is an exchange of life force energy between two beings. It grows exponentially when it's reciprocated. You must give and receive in order for love to flourish and abundance to flow between you. Spirit wants you to start accepting all the blessings waiting for you, as well as offer the same gift in return. Open your heart and allow it to be filled. Let love in and let it flow out of you, too. Love is truly yours today. So yeah, definitely a positive message there. I mean, mostly as we were reading through this, it didn't necessarily jump across to me as primarily a relationship-related reading, although we did see 7th house energy pop up in your dice. So for those of you looking for guidance on that, hopefully that resonated. And the prosperity message says all your hard work and efforts, your commitment to learning, creating, and spending your time wisely pay off in ways you may not have been anticipating. The gifts of yourself, your time, your ideas, and the energy of your intentions are being reciprocated by the universe, which is sending you signs and signals, aligning synchronistic meetings and opportunities to bring you success and more. Everything is an exchange. Keep doing what you're doing. Goodwill comes back tenfold. So yeah, if nothing else, that message, that last sentence, goodwill comes back tenfold, definitely does sound like a positive, right? To where it's like, okay, if you're really working hard here because others in your environment aren't necessarily doing their part, that goes back to that Hierophant energy we were talking about, right? We're like hoping, like, okay, hopefully, spiritually, karmically, this will be recognized, at least in that realm, as a positive. And if that's the case, seems like it will be. Lastly, we have Mudra for you guys. This is your Mudra here. It's the Ushas Mudra. The keyword for it is productivity. Alright, and there's the info on it if you want to pause it or take a screenshot to read what it has to say. But under benefits, it says awakens body and mind in the morning hours, increases creativity and productivity, benefits to pelvis and reproductive organs, increases mental clarity and alertness, harmonizes the endocrine system. So if that sounds like a Mudra thing to be beneficial for you guys, we'll put the name in the description below as always. Hope you guys have a good holiday season, and I'll see you all next year. Alright, bye.